and welcome to the Thriller Zone. I'm your host, David Temple, and on today's 3-year anniversary, I'm so excited to welcome longtime friend and first guest of the show, May Cobb, in her book, The Hollywood Assistant. Man, tears practically come to my eyes when I think about this and how much time we've... Anyway, I could go on and on. Let me shut up and just get right into the Thriller Zone.
Wow, I'm so grateful you're having me back. I really appreciate it.
Are you kidding me? You know what today is? I didn't have any big... This is all I had from my granddaughter. She left this at the house. You see that sparkly?
Yeah.
This is my celebration. I was looking for... I'm like, honey, do we have any like... those, whatever those things are, in a hat, to celebrate its 3rd-year anniversary.
That's amazing. Wow.
3 years, girlfriend.
That's insane. Wow.
It is. And you were number one.
I know, that's wild, isn't it?
I was thinking, I was doing a little daydreaming the other day. We have started, by the way, in case you're wondering. I was daydreaming the other day, and I'm like, man, think about this. May and I started together. I put a little promo up recently with a video. You were a little bit behind the 8 ball that particular day. You had lost a friend. We won't go into that.
Yeah.
My good thoughts are still with you on that. But I've got my phone on a little stand, and I've got a little tiny light, and I'm like, oh, this is number one. Woo!
I love it.
And you were so delightful and gracious. And then this is the other part of my daydream. I'm like, look at where May has gone in 3 years.
Oh. Yeah, that's just a dumb luck.
Girlfriend, can we talk, just you and me? Let's get real close.
Yeah.
Can I just tell you something? Yeah. It's talent, okay? It's talent.
Thank you.
You must be doing something right, because if I'm not mistaken, hold on, let me make sure. Yeah, The Hunting Wives was the book.
Yeah.
And I remember that book, the girls out in the all the hunting paraphernalia, cocktails galore. Of course, we love that. And I'm like, look at her. And then now a TV show.
Yeah.
TV series.
Yeah, I know. It's wild. I know. I feel very grateful. I feel very grateful that it got optioned by the producer that it did, and the showrunner that got attached was attached, because they're the reason. Yes, I came up with the book, but like, they're the reason it is going to be on television.
Folks, listen to this for a second. We're going to do some inside scooping, because May's my girlfriend, and we can talk like this. Now, I'm thinking to myself, and okay, let me jump ahead to some notes. All right, I knew that you grew up in East Texas.
Yeah.
Check. I knew you studied literature in San Francisco for your master's. Check. What I did not know, and then the pieces all came together, what I did not know was that you lived in L.A. for a few years. I don't think we ever talked about that. Working for filmmaker Rob Shelton.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So that's where you got some of that inside scoop on Hollywood.
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. It was a dream job that my best friend from Longview actually was Ron's lead assistant, and she was like, "You have got to move out here." And I started out just sort of in the production office, and then because they were gearing up to make a film called Play It to the Bone with Antonio Banderas and Woody Harrelson. It's a boxing movie. And then Lolita Davidovich, Ron's wife, who's very well known, formidable actor, needed an assistant at that time. So I started as her assistant. Yeah. And then Ron was so great that he was like, "Oh, I would love for you to read scripts for me and write coverage." And so they both just scooped me up in this, like, we're still friends and they feel like family. It was just this very fairy tale thing.
Well, it's so crazy, because as I'm reading this delicious book, The Hollywood Assistant, folks, can you see this right here in all its rainbow color gorgeousness? Yeah. I'm like, oh, that's May, a little bit of May right there. Although you didn't kill anybody.
Yes.
Not saying that the main character killed anyone. I'm not saying that because I don't want to give anything away. But somebody does die.
Yeah, basically, like, the dreamy parts of it are in the book, but then the nightmare parts, that was all just made up because it's a May Cobb novel, which must have obsession, seduction, and murder. I think those are the three main things, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I was looking at your website this morning, and I think the opening, at your homepage, it says author of twisty, sultry suspense.
Yeah. I just thought, why not give myself a little tagline?
I love it, and it needs the FM radio.
Can we record that for the website? And then when people open it,
Welcome to May Cobb's sultry suspense hotline.
I love it.
How may we help you? How may we make your dreams come true?
That's great.
Man, okay, so we're going back. It started with the Hunting Wives. Last time we chatted, it was my summer darlings.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there, I think I missed.
A likable woman. Yeah, that was last summer. And then for this one, I wanted to get in LA. I wanted to challenge myself to write about something other than pine trees.
Right, right. Well, and if I'm not mistaken, didn't a likable woman, some gal really liked it? Some kind of popular up and coming gal. She used to have a TV show. What's her name?
Oprah.
Oprah.
Yeah.
That is practically a mic drop on 2023 when you got that recognition, right?
Oh, it really was. That was incredible. Yeah, it was a very, very high moment.
I'm watching your expression, May, and I've gotten to know you over the years. And what amazes me about you, and I love about you, is you're so humble. You're still the same East Texas gal going, yeah, lived in Hollywood. Yeah, I'm working with the Vitovich. Yeah, Shelton. Yeah, I got a TV series. Yeah. What else you got? Whatever. It's just hilarious. And that's what I adore about you.
Thank you, David.
Yeah.
Trying to keep it real around here. Life is real, as you know. So it's I don't know what to say. I feel like I got the good fortune of being hooked up with the right people, and I can't take credit for anything like that.
We're going to take a very short break because my sponsors want to say hello and so forth. But when we come back, we're going to find out what life has been like since Hollywood invaded the Cobb household.
Perfect.
So don't go anywhere. And welcome back to the Thriller Zone. My guest is May Cobb. The book is a delicious read, The Hollywood Assistant. We're celebrating year number 3 of the Thriller Zone. Thanks for coming back, May.
No, thanks for having me back on, David. This is the best.
Well, I was afraid that maybe I was going to have an assistant give me a ring. Mr. Temple, Miss Cobb is having a more important meeting. She said she'd like to do lunch another time, but not right now.
No, oh, this is oh my God, when your email came across, I was overjoyed.
Yeah, well, you're so kind. So here's what I want to know, because I love Inside Scoop. So Hollywood rolls into your hometown because as we had mentioned off camera at the beginning of the show, I was trying to make a trip come together where I was going to be on the set of a May Cobb TV series talking about the Hunting Wives, the first book that we talked about when we launched the show 3 years ago this week. And some things just didn't come together. That's fine. You had your hands full anyway. But tell me what it has been like in that little whirling dervish of excitement.
It's been absolutely, really surreal and astonishing. So it is set in East Texas, but it's being filmed in Charlotte, North Carolina, which doubles really well as East Texas because of the pine forest there. But they had me out for pilot week, and it was just wild to meet all the actors and the director. I've already known this showrunner for a couple of years now. She's so fabulous. And just to see it being brought to life was the surreal is the best word. I just kept pinching myself.
I don't want to make this about me because it's all about you, girlfriend, but you do know that I spent like 20 years in Charlotte right before I moved to.
You know what? I know that now. Now I remember that. That's crazy. We're going to have to after. That's so cool. What a great, city.
Yeah, when I moved there, it was nearly a one horse town, and it blew up in the 20 years I was there, and not quite 20, but yeah, a great setting, great, beautiful people, blah blah blah. So good for you. So what was kind of your favorite part? I mean, meeting stars, that's cool. Hanging out in a cool city, but when you get a chance, and I'm using a Hollywood assistant, when you know that you've spent a year crafting something, and then you get to sit, as they call, quiet on the set, ready, action, and those words start coming out. Talk to me about that.
I was absolutely overcome and covered in chills. There is a specific scene that's set in the woods, and when someone delivered a line that was, because a lot of it changes from book to script, but one of the
Sure.
lines that was one that I had written and one that still makes me laugh, I was like, oh my God, I honestly can't believe this is happening. And the cast and crew have just been like so welcoming, and they've got me my own chair with my name on it, and they're making me feel like, because you know how it is sometimes on sets, you can feel like you're in the way, but it's been the exact opposite. They've been so like, oh my God, thank you for writing this book. This is, we've been waiting for a juicy, like female led, thing. And so and I think everyone's just also so grateful to be back at it after the strike.
Yeah, we had a 1-2 punch, a little COVID, little strike. I mean, it was crazy town out there. So do you remember? Give me that line, because I want to see if I remember it from Hunting Wives.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
Going to ask me, because now I'm like, I can't remember the exact line.
Okay, well, don't worry about it.
Because it was one of those just surreal, yeah. And
well,
but
Well, hon, it was chock full of those great little zinger one-liners between all these girlfriends, because they were in various levels of intoxication. Guns were everywhere, so you got plenty to choose from.
It gets a little crazy in the book.
Of all the accomplishments, and maybe that is it, but of all the accomplishments, I mean, you've written for the Washington Post, the Rumpus, Austin Monthly, Texas Highways Magazine. You now have 5 books under your belt. I mean, can you, and it's kind of like saying, who's your favorite child or niece or nephew or grandchild or whatever, but do you have a favorite accomplishment in this journey so far since you and I have been friends, which now marks 3 years almost to the day?
Oh my gosh. Wow. 3 years. That's so special. David, I'm trying to think. I mean, I really think, once again, I don't take credit for the adaptation going forward, but that moment where I got the phone call from the producer that it was legit happening, that has been the most gratifying, 10 minutes of my whole career, honestly.
Yeah.
I staggered out into the hall and fell into my husband's arms weeping, with just like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening.
I have to stop and share that with you because, we all kind of dream of this secretly. We'd all love to see our stuff up on the screen, but I'm trying to imagine what that feels like and what your husband feels like, because he's been there championing you. I remember our very first conversation, times were tough. Money was tight. We're all wondering, can we make a career out of this? And he was there going, come on, you got this. You can do this. This is your passion. So
I love that you remember that about him. Yeah. And he's still that way. And he's so just happy and proud.
Plus he gets a brand new jet that's parked right out there in the backyard.
It's a, what did we get? We got a Hyundai Santa Fe, but it kind of looks like a jet.
But I bet you paid cash, girl.
I love it.
Well, I know that we're a little crunched on time, but I can't think of a better way to celebrate. And I knew that I knew the moment was coming, but I can't think of a better way to celebrate. And my wife is so excited about this than to spend it with you. because I'm going to say it again. I flash back to those early moments. I'm sitting at Lake Tahoe at a friend's house on the deck overlooking the lake, scribbling out notes. Man, I'm so glad Miss Cobb will take my call. I'm so glad that she'll just spend some time with me. I'm just starting a brand new podcast. Gosh, And here we are, almost 200 episodes and 3 years later. And here you are.
And astonishing. And you've had literally everyone on and the top of the top, of the thriller genre on. And it's every time I see a new guest, I'm so happy. And well, you're just such a OG pro.
Can I quote you on that, OG pro? Yeah. Wait, I'm writing that down.
My blurb.
Well, I would say no one knows what the future holds, as they say. But if I swing around to year 4, and I'm not saying I got to wait till year 4 to talk to you because it's always fun, but I hope you'll make it a 4. Well, if this is a 3-peat, would they be a 4-peat?
Yes, that sounds good. I love it.
Yeah. Now, I don't recall if I asked you this question on show number 1. I'm pretty sure I didn't, because it's a kind of my standard close that I developed over the years, that I found myself going, if I could sit down with any author, and as you just said, thank you for acknowledging that, some of the biggest authors, thriller authors in the world today, I've asked the same question: what is your best writing advice? Because all my listeners, the people who actually stay to this part of the show all the way to the end in this world of shortening attention spans,
yeah.
They go, ooh, what May Cobb said was fabulous. And even if they're all saying similar things, the fact everybody brings a little something extra to it. So go ahead. I gave you plenty of time to think about it.
Yeah, no, I don't even have to think about it. The best advice I ever got, and the best advice I still use, is that a novel can be written in 15-minute chunks. You don't need a retreat. You don't need a grant. You don't need an MFA. You don't need to quit your part-time job. Maybe you do if your boss is a jerk, but you can write. So my first novel I wrote in a year in 15-minute chunks while my husband was bathing my son, while my son was asleep, while my mom took my kiddo to gym class. And it's amazing if you put that cell phone away and you set a timer, what you can do in 20, now I've shifted it to 20 minutes. And once you might write a paragraph, but then your subconscious is working on that, even if then you have to go pick the kiddo up or fold the laundry or go to the job or whatever it is. You're still, as long as your subconscious is doing that, then you can take your phone, and in your notes app, you can jot notes down and dialogue. And then it's just like you're writing when you're not even at your desk. And to me, that is what has saved me, being under deadlines, year in, year out. So like I live and die by that.
That's so good. You know what? You just did something for us that I often think about. And I heard someone, I've got it here. We put so much pressure on ourselves. Between the pressure that we put on ourselves, that silly voice in the back of our head that says, this sucks, right?
Yeah.
And what will people think, or will they like it? And can I make a living at this? If we could just take some of those and toss them out the window.
Absolutely. Yeah. We don't have time for that. We have to get the words down and trust in the reason we're being called to do this. I believe me, I still have that. I had that voice this morning. Like, what? No one's going to want to read this. I mean, I'll always.
This is what I love about you, May. Another thing, there's so many, as you can see. It's okay. I'm fangirling, fanboying, whatever they call it. Yeah. I heart you, May. Is that you've always kept it real. You always keep it real. You put it in little bite-sized chunks. And then, P.S., speaking of bite-sized chunks, which this is not. Wait a minute, there's my notes.
Oh, I love it.
There's my, I always do notes. And then I do highlighting and so forth. But girl, let me see. I want to make sure I have this right. Yeah. $3.98. This is a little bit thicker
Yeah.
A little bit thicker than the first one, wasn't it?
Yes, and I actually I cut 10,000 words. I know.
Wait. 10,000 from this version?
Yeah, thank God for for my editor that suggested it needed to be trimmed.
Okay, ask this question. I know I usually end on that question, but you've sparked a little thing. You still have a couple more minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. So, wait a minute. So, I'm reading the 400 page, which is the uncorrected copy. It's an ARC. So, it's 10,000 words less now?
Yeah. Well, no, that is the 10,000 words less version. It was 10,000 more. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Because I was in there going, wait, what did I miss?
Yeah.
What? You know. Okay. Well, now there's a rumor out there in book publishing world that people are wanting the page count to shorten just a wee bit because of rising costs.
That's probably a factor. I'm sure that's a factor. And I was grateful because I've never had to do that. I usually am guilty of underwriting. And so it was a good exercise for me to learn that maybe you don't need to capture that person drinking coffee again. It's okay. They're caffeinated. We can move on to the martinis.
I remember that first conversation. We spent many times talking about martinis, which the girls in the hunting club really enjoyed.
What was I remember because you had a favorite one. What was it?
The Vesper.
Yes, I still get to have that. I must order that. I just remembered that.
The Vesper was made famous by James Bond, thanks to Ian Fleming. And it's quite a punch, young May. So you won't be likely having more than two because if I can say this, it'll pitch slap you up pretty good.
Okay, good to know.
All right. Well, this has been absolutely delightful. And I feel like a cheese ball shaking this little ball around.
I love it.
My granddaughter Allie, who calls me Popo, she'll see that and go, Popo, you got my little shiny thing. I'm like, yes, I do.
Thank you so much I'm so happy to celebrate 3 years with you.
Man,
here's to many more.
Thank you. Man, isn't she a sweetheart? I love her. The Hollywood assistant. Guys, I'm going to be straight up with you. It's a little bit of a chick book, but I dug it. And I'm very confident in myself. You know what I'm saying? It's good. Hey, guess who's next week? Ooh, Kendra Elliott, Melinda Lee. The book is Echo Road, and they're going to be my guest. We got a twofer on next week's show. All right, before I scoot, I want to say a couple of quick things. Thank you so much for being there. Thank you for going through 1, 2, and now 3 years. 3 years of the Thriller Zone. Hard to believe. Nearly 200 episodes. I wanted something fierce to hit all 200, but a couple of health issues slowed me down and this, that, and the other. But you know what? Doesn't matter. Who's keeping score? I'm having fun. You're having fun. We're learning stuff all the time. That's what really matters. So while we have celebrated that landmark of 3 years and we're kicking off into the next season, which would be season 7 with Elliot and Lee, I just want to say thanks again. If you ever want to just drop us a note, our email, thethrillerzone@gmail.com. Our website, thethrillerzone.com. Where you can find us on social, Instagram, Twitter, X, Facebook. The Thriller Zone. Kind of makes sense, doesn't it? We are your front row seat to the best thriller writers in the world, including me. I'm writing some too, folks. Anyway, thank you so much. I'm your host, David Temple. I'll see you next week for another episode of The Thriller Zone.
Your front row seat to the best thriller.